Picture this. Dawn breaks over ancient India. The air fills with sacred chants and the smell of burning incense. But among the peaceful temples and ashrams, a different kind of holy man emerges. Warriors who would become legends. These are the Naga Sadhus, Hindu ascetics who transform from peaceful monks into fierce defenders of their faith. You might have seen them at the Kumbh Mela, ash-covered, dreadlocked holy men carrying tridents. But beneath their peaceful exterior lies an extraordinary history of warrior monks who once stood against the might of invading armies. Their story begins in the 16th century when India faced one of its greatest challenges. As Mughal forces swept across the subcontinent, temples were being destroyed and ancient traditions faced extinction. The peaceful Hindu ascetics faced a profound dilemma: maintain their strict, non-violent principles or take up arms to protect their faith. This was the moment that gave birth to the warrior ascetics, the Naga Sadhus. But how does a peaceful monk become a warrior? The Naga Sadhus developed a unique philosophy. They believed that by renouncing all worldly attachments, including clothes, they became dead to the material world. This spiritual death meant they had nothing to lose and everything to protect. Their naked bodies, covered only in ash, became their armor, their matted hair, their helmet. These weren't just spiritual warriors, they were highly trained fighters. In the hidden valleys of the Himalayas and the dense forests of central India, they established akharas, training grounds where they perfected both their spiritual practices and martial arts. They learned wrestling, swordsmanship, and archery, all while maintaining their ascetic lifestyle. One of their most famous battles occurred in 1760 when thousands of Naga Sadhus fought alongside the Maratha forces against the Afghan army in the Third Battle of Panipat. Witnesses describe them as fearsome warriors, charging into battle wearing nothing but ash and carrying deadly weapons blessed in sacred rituals. But what made them truly unique was their dual nature. Unlike traditional armies, they fought not for land or gold, but for dharma, righteous living and spiritual truth. Between battles, they would return to their meditation and yoga practices. They were warriors who could quote ancient texts and perform complex rituals with the same expertise they showed in combat. Today's Naga Sadhus may not fight physical battles, but their warrior spirit lives on. At the Kumbh Mela, the world's largest religious gathering, they still demonstrate their physical prowess through martial arts displays and feats of endurance. Their naked bodies covered in ash, their dreadlocks flowing, they remind us of an extraordinary chapter in history. What can we learn from these warrior monks? Perhaps it's their remarkable ability to balance seemingly opposite forces: spirituality and warfare, peace and protection, renunciation and action. In our modern world, where we often struggle to find balance, their story offers unique insights. The Naga Sadhus remind us that sometimes the most unlikely warriors emerge from the most peaceful traditions. Their legacy lives on, not just in India's history books, but in the continuing tradition of the Naga Sadhus, who still walk the ancient paths, carrying forward a tradition that spans centuries. As the sun sets over the Ganges and the evening arti begins, these modern-day warrior monks remind us that strength comes in many forms, and sometimes the fiercest warriors are those who have found inner peace. The next time you see images of ash-covered sadhus at the Kumbh Mela, remember, you're not just looking at holy men. You're seeing the descendants of one of history's most unique warrior orders, who proved that spiritual power and physical might could exist in perfect harmony. In the twilight of history, where ancient wisdom meets martial prowess, the Naga Sadhus stand as living bridges between worlds. These ash-smeared warriors didn't just fight battles, they redefined what it means to be both a monk and a warrior. They proved that the path to enlightenment sometimes requires us to protect what we hold sacred, even if it means breaking conventional rules. Today, as you scroll through your social media feed and spot these mysterious figures at the Kumbh Mela, remember, you're not just looking at exotic holy men for your next viral post. These are the descendants of warrior monks who once turned the tide of history, who chose to fight not for gold or glory, but for something far more precious, the very soul of their civilization. Perhaps in our modern world, where we often feel torn between opposing forces, the Naga Sadhus offer us their greatest lesson. Sometimes the most powerful warriors are those who have mastered their inner battles first. Their legacy whispers to us across centuries, reminding us that strength and spirituality aren't opposites. They're two sides of the same sacred coin. After all, in the end, every warrior must find their own path to peace.